Hi everyone, it's Eve Angeline here at etrailer.com, and today we are looking at our Swagman Anti-Rattle bolt with lock and cable set here at eTrailer. This is a great option to have if you want to protect your bike rack as well as your bikes, and if you want to upgrade from maybe you only have a hitch lock or just a anti-rattle bolt and you want that extra security in your life. While you can also get the anti-rattle bolt separately, this is the set, so it comes with this nice cable. I really like it. It looks good, it feels secure, and this is made of a braided steel cable inside, and that's wrapped around with this vinyl coating. So this vinyl coating really helps prevent scuffs and scratches on your bike while it's securing it. The other end of the cable is secured by the anti-rattle bolt, making this an all-in-one system, securing both your bike rack as well as your bikes. I like this method because one, it allows me to use the full length, and another, I'm secured by just one key to my entire system. Things to know about this set though is that this is designed for your 1.25" bike racks or your bike racks that use a combo shank, just like our Swagman XC2 that uses a 2-inch adapter sleeve on it. So note it works with that and not with any other kind of bike rack. If you do have a 2-inch solid shank, we do have another set that will fit you. I have here the old anti-rattle bolt from our Swagman XC2, and you can see holding them together how much of a difference it is and why you would want to upgrade to this hitch pin lock. So the hitch pin lock, it is triple chrome plated, so you can see how much shinier it is from the old one, as well as how it prevents rust and corrosion from damaging or changing the color of your anti-rattle bolt. As for the lock itself, it's an upgrade from the pin the other versions have, and this lock is nice. It's circular so that you can tighten your bolt down without having to take it off, and it's also spring loaded, so you just insert that into place as long as the keys are attached. It pops right in there, and then from here you can detach the keys. That way you're not losing your keys when it isn't in the locked position. One of my personal favorite features is the dust cover because it's so easy to use. You just push that open and then you can lock it, unlock it, and then push it back into place. That way you don't have dust, grime, snow, or dirt getting in there and clogging up your lock core. The anti-rattle bolt plus the lock plus the key at the end are 8.5 inches long, just something to keep in mind in case you don't have clearance around your hitch. As an all-purpose set, one of the things you can use it for is in an emergency. You can secure your bike to a bike stand, so if you're out and about and you want to park your bike in front of the restaurant or at the trail at the bike stand, you can use this to wrap around your bike. Now, one thing is that this does work with your anti-rattle bolt as a lock. If you have another lock, that's a good option as well to use. And in an emergency, you can use your anti-rattle bolt to secure it. Just something to keep in mind in case you really need it. Cool, so we have a bunch of different locks here that I got pulled just to try out and see the differences. Do you have any questions in particular about any of the locks while they are down here?
Okay, so we've got 2 Swagman locks and we've got 2 Kuat locks.
Ew.
And as I understand it, one is for the 1.25" rack for Swagman and Kuat, and the other one is for 2-inch racks for Swagman and Kuat. Okay. And one of them will not work in a 2-inch rack.
No. So the thing is with the shanks for solid 2-inch racks is that, like this, we have the XC2, which is an 1.25" and a 2-inch sleeve. So that fits into this one because the hole for the hitch pin hole is smaller, so the thread really catches on. So if you do have a 2-inch solid rack, like for the Kuat, you have the Kuat Sherpa, then it's not going to work with that because then you just have the smaller 1.25" hitch pin lock rattling around inside that hole.
And that would not be very secure, correct?
Oh, it wouldn't, no. You'd lose all the anti-rattle function and it will put more stress on your lock itself because that's what's holding it in place. It's not
Right.
evenly distributed anymore. So
Now,
they
the two Swagman locks are anti-rattle. Are the Kuat locks anti-rattle?
No,
they
they're
are they are not. So we have here the hitch pin locks. So they're not anti-rattle locks. And as you can see, there's no thread on there. There's nothing for the anti-rattle function. It just sticks in there and then is locked down. Now, that's because a lot of the Kuat, oh, it's over here. A lot of the Kuat bike racks have their own anti-rattle knob at the end, though. So
Right.
some of your bike racks don't need an anti-rattle hitch lock. They just need a hitch pin lock.
which all of the Kuats, just as long as they fit inside the hitch, they'll basically work on any of the bike racks you have, as long as they don't need a specific type of like anti-rattle bolt or anything like that.
So I guess that would make it a little bit more universal.
Yeah.
So the Kuats are fairly universal, but the Swagmans are pretty much going to be specific to Swagman racks.
Yep.
Yeah. The thread pattern is very important because I know the different bike racks have their own different thread pattern, and that's what causes the anti-rattle to happen. So if you use a different lock on your bike rack, you can risk damaging your lock and or your bike rack.
And you definitely don't want to force it in. If it doesn't go in, you just stop, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Or else you'll have to end up replacing your shank for your bike rack.
Sure.
If you want to compare, though, this is the anti-rattle bolt that comes with the XC2. So there's no locking function on the XC2 because it's like your base bike rack. So for people that want to upgrade to the anti-rattle hitch lock, you can see how much of a difference there is in size, quality. It can lock. This is what you're upgrading from.
Yeah, there's quite a big difference there.
Yeah. There's the same amount of thread though, but it's the lock itself is different.
Yeah, and the quality is definitely very telling between these two. Maybe it's just because it's universal, but the Swagmans are definitely way, way better made compared. You want to give the little shake test with this one?
Especially
You can
here without the keys.
without the keys.
Especially, so the first thing we noticed when we put it in the lock was how wobbly it is inside the lock. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it from over all this.
Yeah, it definitely feels a lot different compared to when you have the Swagman in. So there's a big difference in feel as well.
Not to mention, even between the Kuats, this one definitely is a lot better. I think just the design in general is a lot more appealing than just the big tumbler like they have on this one, which, I mean, it'll work for sure. But compared that to just like this looks a lot more streamlined. It's something that I'd actually want to have on my vehicle and on my bike rack.
Yeah.
So
And that is the 2-inch one, correct?
that is the 2-inch one.
It is the 2-inch one. Have y'all had experience with attaching like a hitch lock on your bike racks or your cargo carriers?
Can you run through it real quick?
Yeah. So, like for these, the main thing with this though is you need a tool to tighten it down, since it is an anti-rattle bolt. Which is why I also recommend picking up the performance tool and socket, because that just makes my life a lot easier. You just put it in, hand tighten it as much as you can, then use your socket or your tool to really tighten it down, and then you lock it into place. So this is nice because you can't remove the keys until you have the lock in the spring. So that means you don't lose your lock until you actually.
Another good thing. Oh, Go ahead.
You wouldn't need a tool at all for the Kuat ones. They just slide right in.
Yep.
They do just slide right in. So that's one thing, and that's pro for this type of.
It's quicker to get on, so if you're in a
is.
hurry.
It just slides right on, and then you just pop that right into place and take that right off. So you're not tightening anything down.
Okay,
I will say, though, that we do have kits, luckily, for the Swagmans that come with a cable lock, which is really nice. And that's always super useful if you have, like, we have 2 bikes on there. Maybe they're a little bit more expensive. It just gives you a little bit more, you know, safe of mind. And the fact that they are both key-to-like is super nice.
They are.
Yeah, that's nice that you can use one key for both locks.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, like, after you tighten down your hitch lock, that's when you put the cable in. Yeah, right there. And then you lock it into place with this. That's another reason why they're a little bit longer, so that you have space for that cable lock.
Sure.
But yeah. Anytime I would recommend these, though, I always recommend getting the performance tool as well.
And what size of wrench is that again?
So this uses a 3/4 socket. Not sure what drive it is, though.
But at least if you're able to get a 3/4 socket, it'll work on these.
Yeah.
So, and most people will usually have, if they have some kind of socket set up, they'll have a 3/4 on them. But if you happen not to, you can always just pick it up with us, which is nice.
Thanks. So you did a very good job of displaying all the difference between all 4 locks. Looks like each one of them might have an advantage and a disadvantage depending on what you're doing.
It does, yeah. At first I wasn't so sure about the hitch pin style, but it is a lot faster to use. So if your bike already has an anti-rattle knob on it, why not?
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you very much for showing us that.
Thank you for calling and the questions.
All right. Well, you take care.
You too. Thanks. Bye, everyone.
This comes with a 7-foot cable, and what I like to do is really up to you and what you want to wrap it around and what you want to secure. But I first go through the wheel, and then I wrap it around the frame and then around the rim, because I know there are some expensive rims out there that you don't want getting stolen. And just wrap it around the bike as much as you can to secure before you lock it into place. To install your anti-rattle bolt, just pop it into your hitch receiver's hitch pin hole and try to tighten it as much as you can with your hands. And from there, you can use the wrench that is included with your bike rack, but I recommend picking up our performance tool, and that makes the whole process a lot easier. Just tighten it down. Once you have your anti-rattle bolt installed, you can then insert your end of the cable into there and then lock it on the other end with your locking piece. From here, make sure everything is secure before you take out the keys. Close that and you are ready to go. My final thoughts about this set is I do like how it gives me the option to secure my bikes and my bike racks with this cable. I do like this looped in option, which allows me to use the cable to its full capacity, as well as how it works together with my anti-rattle bolt. So you get your anti-rattle, you get your lock, and you get your cable all in this one system. And it's key to like. And that was a look at our Swagman Anti-Rattle bolt and lock with a cable set for your 1 1/4 and 2-inch combo shanks here at etrailer.com.